the new best cosmic champion in MCoC.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, this guy is an absolute beast. There's a lot going on in his kit, but once you get the sense of it all, the flow is phenomenal and great, and you're going to know how to play him. We're going to show a series of fights showing off how to do this, short, medium, and long form. We're going to talk about his utility, which there is actually a lot of. We're talking about the awakened ability, the synergies, and then we'll place him initially on the tier list, even though I've already told you, I think he's the best cosmic champion in the game. Let's go ahead and jump into this here. We're going to start off, or on the CCP server, right? He's unawakened. Don't worry about Isophine there. She's just there for fun things. I was testing some stuff out. She's actually pretty good, but this is about Thanos. So we're going in, and the first thing I want you to see is I'm interrupting Infinity Man here with my heavy. You can see that, and I'm getting extra energy charges. It's in the upper left hand corner. They're up to 14 now. When you get to multiples of 10, you're going to get that counter punch charge, which will then cause you to go unstoppable, right? And then when you go in and utilize that, really bad things happen to the opponent. You can see we are already starting to hit very hard. We threw our SP1, which is giving us those fury buffs. The more energy you have, the more likely you are to get more fury buffs. That's why I'm using the Gamora relic there, because the set number is not guaranteed. And then you see here, we used our heavy after having 30 of our energy, and that put a armor shatter on and an armor break, so we do not need to worry about Iron Man Infinity War's armor ups coming back at all. We didn't even need the whole SB2 to kill him there. So I wanted to establish like the basic rotation there, right? You can use your heavy to interrupt, you're gonna get more energy, you're gonna use that energy to get your counterpunch charges, you're gonna use those counterpunch charges to counterpunch, get more energy, and then the flow just works from there. Now that was completely unawakened. I know you're probably thinking like, oh, that's the best champion. Don't worry, there is a lot more, okay? There's a lot more. We're gonna get that time down significantly. All right, now we're gonna jump on to this next fight. We're gonna talk a little bit more about, again, how to play this guy. It's gonna be off of that SP1. That's the big thing we're showing off here. Remember, this is the medium, the 450,000 Iron Man Infinity War here. On the special one, on activation, gain a fury buff, increasing attack rating by 1,074. Don't worry, that's gonna go up and down based on your rank and rarity and all that stuff. For 15 seconds. The first hit consumes 20 necrotic energy. So energy, and this necrotic energy in the upper left-hand corner, that's his food, basically, right? That's everything you're using. That's Thanos' currency. This whole thing is about keeping that going, using your counterpunch charges to get more. Watch, we're gonna use this and then watch our necrotic energy there. It goes up immediately. As you use that, you're gonna get that really nice pause. And then so we're gonna use 20 necrotic energy. If energy was consumed, right, you only consume it if you have enough. The barrier here is 20. There was consumed, the chance is 100% instead to get an additional fury. And then after the final hit, get a non-stacking Genesis passive for 100 seconds, allowing Thanos to passively regenerate 20% of all damage taken by the opponent. Not like missing health, anything like that. 20% of the damage taken by them, and you are doing loads of damage. All right, look at that. That's 55 seconds for the 450,000 Iron Man Infinity War. I think you're starting to notice something here. We're building up, and the time didn't increase that much. We're now going to go to basically 1,000,000 health. I want to show you the SP2 and the SP3. So again, keep in mind all this stuff, right? And then, oh, also the heavy, as you're gonna see right there, it also has a pulverize effect. So that's a really nice way to be removing armor ups, keeping them off. You can see Tony was supposed to be getting armor ups there, but we pulverize that, a little bit of red damage in addition too. So not only is it helping you get your energy higher and higher and higher, but it's keeping off the armor ups from the pulverize there as well. We've got the 30 energy, so we're gonna let the heavy finish off. And when you have 30 energy, the heavy will actually place the armor shatter and the armor break for you, so now we don't have to worry about it. We're gonna go all the way to the special 3. So let's talk about what the special 3 does, and then also the special 2. Keep in mind, this is about 1,000,000 health when you're watching this, okay? The special 3, for the first time each fight, so the first time once, Thanos draws on the power of the evolution stone. Really like how they tie all this in. To permanently increases maximum necrotic energy by 20. Big deal, we talked about how that's his currency, so getting that increases is really helpful. Additionally, he gains 1 more energy when striking the opponent with a medium attack, so you have a higher capacity, and you're getting it faster. You can see how high up our energy has gotten here. And then inflicting a definite corrosion passive, dealing 89 physical damage per second, max stacks 10. So you can see that's just constantly ticking down. And then remember when we throw that SP1, we get that Genesis, which is healing us based on the damage we're doing to. Really, really fun. And then our SP2, some projectiles in this attack are nothing but a bad dream. The ruins ignore 80% of the opponent's block proficiency and armor rating. Each hit inflicts 1,790 corrosion debuff for 8 seconds and consumes 15 necrotic energy. As a defender, okay, we're not going to talk about as a defender. He's going to be tough. He's a dual threat in battlegrounds. But you can see the large damage we're doing there. We got a nice little crit at the end, and then there's all these red numbers ticking down. Look at this: 3,847, 3,847, just ticking down. We were set up there. That's what's wild about this guy. I'm going to show you the awakened ability. He's going to be great in short fights. He's great in middle thing, and then you can see he's getting set up. He was getting set up to do significantly more. You're going to see stuff in Necropolis, all this stuff out of this guy. He's bonkers. All right, so now let's move on to the awakened ability. This is just Sig 1. Personal effects expire up to 10% more slowly. That is extremely helpful. That can go up to 40%, which is a lot. Then the bullet point 2, at the start of the first fight, each quest as an attacker and each fight as a defender, he gains 5 necrotic energy. This is going to be a big part to the speed, which is required for him to be an attacker in Battlegrounds. That can go all the way up to 30 necrotic energy. Remember, 30 necrotic energy with the heavy gets you that armor shatter and armor break already. And then personal protections gain a flat 1% potency. He's a defender. This is going to be a stall threat defender. You're like, what? There's protection. All right, and then now I'm showing him at Sig level 120. You can see the numbers on the screen. I'm showing you this because remember, you're going to get those deathless Sig stones when you do the Necropolis challenge. I'm personally going to take him all the way to Sig 200. I know that already, but this is what happens if you only put in those 100. You're going to get him to Sig level 20. And then honestly, I'm going to take him to Sig level 200 as fast as I can. You saw the numbers out there. We talked about it. So let's go and see what this looks like. Because remember that plus 30 necrotic energy kicks in for the first fight, which would be what Battleground technically is, the way it's defined and coded and all that by Kabam. Watch how much this speeds up, because that armor shatter and that armor break is allowing you to do significantly more damage. So all we have to do is get in our initial passive stun. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about that. He has the passive stun off of the combo, just like America Chavez, my girl, right there. So it's a passive, and you can see because we have the 30 energy, we've already placed armor shatter and the armor break. And now we don't need to worry about Tony's armor ups at all. I'm kind of surprised he even still had the passive, whatever. I'm not going to worry about that right now. And now we've got enough energy because we've crossed the 10 threshold where we have our counterpunch charge. We're going to utilize that, which is going to give us more energy. The flow in this guy, it's great. It's phenomenal. We've thrown our SP1, right? We've now got 4 Furies. Because we have the armor break and the armor up, that is plenty. We don't need to throw another one to get to the 8 armor ups. We've got our 30. We're above 30 energy. Just go straight into the SP2, and this is done. This was basically punching sideways rank 3 Thanos versus the equivalent of rank 3 Iron Man Infinity War, and look at the score on this, or the time is all the way down to 38 seconds. So if you're interested in Battlegrounds, yeah, I think you're going to want to take him up. The interesting thing for me on this, though, was I actually did that fight at Sig 120, and I got basically the exact same time. AI differences, things like that, could make a difference. You don't have to take him to Sig 200, but remember, there's all these pauses and how long things take. I really, really like his signature ability. I think he is a great use of Sig Stones. All right, now we're going to move on to his utility, because you're like, dude, I thought you said he has utility. 1, well, he's got all of those immunities, right? It's poison, the cold snap, and the one that always comes with cold snap there. I can never remember. It's like frostbite or something. So now we're moving on, and he is going to be putting on these panic debuffs when he uses his counter punch. So watch this. We're gonna we got our Sig 200, so we can just start off right away, and we are going to get our energy going as fast as we can. I know we had energy there. The signature ability part does not give you the counter punch right away. He is still, I think, like, he's well made. He's well made. We'll talk about that when we place him. But we've now got our counter punch, and watch this. And I purposely paused this for you here because I was wondering, I tested this, is, you know, there's a chance Shuri gets to her 10 of her charges first, and then she's going to go phase, whatever she called, untouchable, and then we're not going to be able to head into her. But it's like as soon as you get that counter punch and utilize it, you get the panic debuff. That's in the upper right-hand corner. You can see the call out for it. And when he has the panic debuff on a champion, he cannot miss, and he counters evade. The champion cannot evade. So we're just going to keep this going here. And because of the way this works out, and we're going to keep using our counterpunch charges, we're basically just going to be able to keep the panic debuff up there. You can see it's not a terribly long duration. I believe it's 5 seconds, but we're able to just keep that up. We were going to use our counterpunch charge into our SP2, and Shuri had no shot. She had no chance. She's done. Again, that's basically a rank 3 versus a rank 3 with a Battlegrounds health pool. Absolutely done and dusted in 37 seconds. And then here it is, the evade, similar concept, same exact thing. We are going to get our energy level up so that we can get our counterpunch charge. So we need to get a multiple of 10. We need to get up to 40 because we started with 30 from the signature ability. So we still have to deal with this a little bit. He does require some setup. It's just not like immediately go, but there we go. And now you know how this is gonna work. When we throw our SP1, we're gonna get our Fury buffs. This whole time, also, we've got that Energize buff. And as we get more necrotic energy, that also increases as far as the advanced combat power rate, but that's okay. That's great. That's good. I think we've explained everything about Thanos so far. Use our counterpunch charge, which makes us go unstoppable. We've got the panic debuffs on because we've used the counterpunch charge, and that Nightcrawler really tried. It was a good effort from him, but Thanos is inevitable. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. You really feel like you're playing Thanos. All right, let's go ahead and jump. We're going to check one synergy very quickly because he's got so many of them, and then we will place him on the tier list. All right, he has a ton of synergies. It's with that whole Deathless team, and when you put all 5 of them together, they all become significantly stronger. It's going to be really helpful to us in the Necropolis. And from what I understand, those synergies don't just exist in the Necropolis; they exist elsewhere and outside of it. It's just that they're going to be really helpful to us in Necropolis. So that full team seems really fun. I'm looking forward to exploring it. But again, the amount of time that would take, I think it might even be its own video. Maybe I'll do that. Let me know if you'd like to see it. The one I want to point out, and it's for 2 reasons. In my testing, Deathless She-Hulk is the best of the Deathless before Thanos. Okay, she's great, and I will get out a new champion video on her because I like her that much. But also, her synergy with Deathless Thanos feels really good, and I think it works in well with Thanos' playstyle. And this is what it is. Deathless Thanos, intercepting the opponent, inflicts an instant corrosion, dealing 20% of attack rating. Well, you see what his attack rating is. It's really high. It's doing really well. There's that corrosion, right? And it's doing damage. But the counterpunch counts as an intercept if you can do it quickly enough while the opponent is still in their dash animation. You saw me utilize that many times. So not only is this something that's going to be paying off synergy-wise, giving you that bonus damage, but also you think about all the nodes that ask us to intercept. I really like this one. And, you know, if you're looking for a reason to rank up another Deathless, I think She-Hulk makes a ton of sense. Probably going to be pretty good. I can't say for sure because it hasn't out yet. But the Deathless challenge as well, too. Probably going to be great in there. I really like this one. And then really quickly, we will talk about the relics. The designer or whoever wrote these actually went ahead and specifically calls out the Gamora battle class and the Thor battle class. They both make a lot of sense. Remember, there's a chance on the SP1 for those Furies, so the Gamora one really makes a lot of sense. The thing is, I was wondering is, once you get those Furies up and going, it might be really nice to have all those additives from the Thor Battlecast too. So it's just a lot of competition for it. Everything you saw was with me testing it as a Gamora. He's so good, might be someone you're looking to place your Thor one on instead. Okay, and there he is on the initial tier list for him, right? We're gonna update this every single month, and I meant what I said early. I really think that in just a month or two, we see him all the way at the top, and that's without the 6-star tax or the 7-star tax or however you want to talk about it. He's that good, and just for a little peek behind, you're like, well, then why isn't he there now? One, remember, we always start conservative. I would always much rather end up telling you, hey, they're better than we realize, than, hey, they're not as good as we realize. I know some people use this to go out and get crystals or rank up the champions right away, even though I always say rank up who you enjoy. So I want to have like responsibility running through. And where this would come is he could easily, we have him not with the highest score in long form, but you saw what he was doing with that 1 million Iron Man Infinity War, and that's without the awakened ability, which will be incredibly helpful to keeping his flow going, which he's just that good. The other spot that could be is that his, you'll see when we do the Battlegrounds tier list, we're actually starting with a 9 in dual threat, although I really think he's probably going to end up as a 10. And then in flow, I just wanted to test a variety of nodes and scenarios and situations and see if maybe something can disrupt his flow really well. Right now, I think it's pretty much just going to be champions that are shrugging his debuffs, but you kind of don't want to use him there anyway. If you have him at a high enough Sig, I don't think a passive AI is really going to ruin his day. He's got all of those immunities. He's got multiple damage sources. He heals. He's tanky, so he's going to save you items from that way too. I will immediately be taking him to rank 3, Sig 200, and hopefully you've been doing the Deathless Chase. They told us immediately that it was going to be worth it and that we were going to want to do it. And some of those initial ones, I will admit, I'm not a huge fan of like Deathless Vision and things like that, but I'm glad I went ahead and did it. I'm going to be getting through these challenges as quickly as I reasonably can while still having fun with them so I can get Thanos and rank him up. As usual, let me know what we think we got right. Let me know what we think we got wrong. I'm pumped up for this guy. I think he's not what the Cosmic class quote unquote needed, because look how good they are, but it does feel good to have a 7-star Cosmic that I can confidently say tier above all, and I think he's only going up. He's not broken. I'm not worried about a nerf. I want to answer that right now. Think about all the sort of like power manipulation immunities he doesn't have. I showed you he has to work to set up his miss and his evade. Some of the other Illuminati members, make sure you check out their videos on him too. Pointed out that there's some defenders that like, yeah, he can eventually beat them, but you're going to take some damage, so he's not automatically just going to destroy them in battlegrounds. He's great. I love him, and I have no concerns about a nerf coming our way. Let me know what we think we got right. Let me know what we think we got wrong. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.